body, where the actual body mounts to that, all the holes are currently right here. And as we get towards the back of the car, you'll see this gap here is considerably longer or wider, sorry, than it is in the front. And when I took the original floor off, pardon my hand there, there was about a 3/16 gap all the way around. So that's obviously where it has to get back to. So that's gonna be my goal now, is to get this back part here, sorry, pardon my hand again, here. I need this to get all modified and cut back to allow for this bit here. You see where the original spot welds are, that's where this metal has to get to. So this side over here, I think is about a 1/2 inch. And these are those reference lines I put in. You can barely see them there, but there's where it is now. There's where it needs to get to. So this whole piece here needs to come back to there and then go into 3/16. And that should get me really close. I mean, we're not making watches here, so it should be close enough, but you got enough wiggle room in the nut. They give you a 1/2 inch hole with a 5/16 nut. So you have a fair amount of room in there to wiggle it around. I know some people make the holes oblong. I don't know if that's a good idea, because then you have the gaskets you're dealing with now. Now they're not fitting properly, and it's kind of like, you know, just do it right. Do everything square from the start, and if you start square or start in the right spot, then it makes everything easier after that. You build a crooked wall, you're forever shimming and adjusting things to make it fit. It never quite works right. So that's the plan here, is to get this back. Actually, this might even work better. I'll show you on the front here. That's the gap we want right there. So I need to get that all the way to the back of the car. This side's not bad, actually. It's considerably narrower than the other side. Okay, so after a second trial, was met with some success. The other side is good. The passenger side actually looks all right. I got the holes lined up. I had to do a little bit of bending of metal, make it fit properly, but this side's gonna be a problem. So I've got to get the other side tacked in, get it where I want it, get the primer in there, the weld-through primer, and get it solid and done, and then use that as my standard, and then I'll work on the driver's side and move it over. It's gonna be another, I gotta find a 1/2 inch of, or probably 3/8 of an inch of material in there somewhere. So it's gonna be challenging. I thought for sure this would be a little easier, but it's gonna be a lot more work. But we'll get it done today. All right, so this area here, when you actually look at it, it looks quite simple, but what happens is underneath there's a piece, there's a little support, and that support actually aligns quite well with this section right here. It fits right in a little channel in there. So I found my 3/4, or not 3/4, 3/8 of an inch or 1/2 inch, and it actually is where that piece of metal lives. So what I gotta do is I gotta cut it back and modify it and make myself a new perch for this floor. So let's get into that and get her done. Alright, so there it is post-surgery. All I did was I took a grinder, cut off the authority, and just cut along here all the way up. Took a section out about 3/16, and then just welded her back together and ground her down. So that should give us the 3/16 I need to slide the floor pan back to get in the right spot. So I'm just going to trial fit the body one more time, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so hopefully this is the last trial fit I got to do. So I've got it in. We have a little bit of clearance over here. Hang on, maybe throw some light out of here. So it's a little bit far away over there, but this all comes down. This is about right. It's supposed to be about 3/16 of an inch gap between the floor pan and the tranny tunnel, or the, not tranny tunnel, I guess, the utility tunnel, I guess. So it's fitting pretty good all the way along. If you look over here, this gap here should be the same, and it kind of is. So I think we're in good shape. Those bolts back there are kind of in alignment. I have to do a little bit of jigging to make those work, but that's not the end of the world. The real test is going to be underneath. We'll see how these ones look. Oh, heavens. And we are not right. We're pretty close as we move down the car. Yeah, it's pretty close. It needs to go forward. The car needs to go forward about, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch, maybe 1/8. So we're close, really close. Progress today, we've got the floor pans all punched out with this handy little tool right here. If you don't have one of these, run out and get one. It makes these perfect size holes in the floor here for when we do the spot welds. They're, I want to say they're 1/4 inch holes, so it's a good size for spot welding. So those are going in today. We trial fitted the body, I think about 2 or 3 times, and it's pretty good. So this has all been wire wheeled down here, and we're in a really good spot now to put these in. So what I'll do is we're just going to clean up a little bit of the leftover tape and things on the back of the pans, and then we're going to go ahead and start spotting them in. Okay, so we got a little bit of spot welding done. This is really thin stuff. It's only 22 gauge, I think, and it's really tough to get a good weld in it without blowing holes through it, but it's not bad. I go over a couple spots to fill in a couple holes. I'm not really well versed in welding thin sheet metal, so I've done a couple little projects to try and learn my skill, like my little welded D over there, made of a 22 gauge. But on a separate note, don't let anybody ever tell you that it's just a hammer. It looks as good as any other hammer, and then when you go to make your first hit with it, your body hammer breaks. That's what happens when you buy junk. Well, we hope we get a little further than that. I was expecting to have both floors in today, but like any good project, it's met with delays and all kinds of other things. Of course, I'm busy like a one-legged grasshopper here with this building and fishing ramps and things put into it, so that's happening now too. We are officially full in the garage space. It hasn't taken long, but anyways, no more delays. Hopefully tomorrow or the next day, we'll get those floors finished up, get the seam sealer in, get the undercoating put on, and get on with rebuilding that front suspension. That'll be kind of a nice step. A little bit of the painting and rebuilding side of things, which is welcome. And shout out to Sean for setting me up with the Bug Doc guy from Chilliwack. We'll be calling him tomorrow. Got an entire parts list of junk we need for him. So Again, anybody else out there who has parts, knows of a guy with parts, has a cousin with parts, whatever, let me know, because we're still looking for that engine and transmission for a swing axle. And probably a couple other parts too. Wouldn't be surprised if, as we get deeper into the body, we might need a little bit more metal, so we'll see. But thanks for tuning in, and we shall see you on Sunday. Sunday? Sunday. Okay, thanks for checking in. Like, subscribe, and comment, please. And on that, please make sure you comment. I've been getting some great feedback on Facebook, not so much on the YouTube comments. And I'm trying to focus on those, just because that way everyone can see what's going on if they're interested. All right, have a good night. Take care.